I was wrong. 100%. Belal Muhammad is a bully. So remember the name. That's the formal nickname. But let's not forget Bully B. That's Belal Muhammad, and he basically took the Gilbert Burns game plan, excuse me, and took that shit to 100 right there, my man. And I respect it because relentless wrestling. It's like everyone kind of forgot that he was a really good wrestler. I already said he had great cage wrestling. That's basically what he did. He walked forward. He was the bully. And when Stephen Thompson was trying to dap him up, like, all right, let's touch gloves, Bilal Muhammad said, I'll touch it. But you know how sometimes you'll touch and then you'll take a couple steps back and reset? Bilal Muhammad, he would touch and be like, oh, I'm already right here. I already cut off half the cage. All right, I'm just walking forward. And he just walked him down, double leg, locked his hands, put Thompson's butt on the ground and smashed him. Volume, I mean, this was one-way traffic. This was dominance by Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad has actually broken a record because he's the first man to be able to take Stephen Thompson down 7 times. I believe Matt Brown comes second with 5, but Belal Muhammad did something that nobody does, and this is why. We said it. If it goes down to points, that's what Stephen Thompson does. But you said it, AJ. You're like, but then again, that's what Muhammad does too. So you're like, oh, shit. How surprised, 1 to 10? Like, in all honesty, in hindsight, even looking back, were you like, huh, man, maybe I was giving a little too much love to Wonderboy? Or is this truly that novel of an event where you're like, how the fuck no one saw this coming? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like I was giving a little bit too much respect to Stephen Thompson on this one, man. All credit to Bilal Muhammad. I was wrong on the pick. I was wrong on how I was thinking this goes down because Bilal Muhammad, man, that pressure wrestling, it's rough for Stephen Thompson when you know what to do to that everybody knows what to do to beat you. Take you down, hold you down, don't let your striking go. And it's as a striker, it's very frustrating when all you want to do is stand and bang and do what you're good at, but this dude keeps putting his hands around your bottom and tucking you under and literally getting the takedowns. Bilal Muhammad knew exactly what the game plan was. Very impressive, very dominant. And the fact, I mean, it goes back to the thing, it takes a man to hold another man down. Bilal Muhammad held Stephen Thompson down basically the entire time. Even when he was able to get back up, it was right back to the ground. Yeah, I guess shouldn't have been as surprised as I was in the pre-show because that's Bilal Muhammad's game, man. This dude's a pressure wrestler. He's going to keep it going, keep it grinding. You want to talk about a bully? Bully B showed up to play, man. Very impressive. I'm looking at my notes right now, and it literally all started off with Muhammad this, Muhammad that, Muhammad this. Literally stole the fight in the eyes of everybody, and even if it did come down to mix them up, it was a little closer. I think Bilal Muhammad just stayed strong the entire time, man. Bully B with the dub. You got to put a lot of respect on that name, not just remember it, but put some respect on it finally too, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's no other way to say it, but this was very, very impressive. And the same way, man, I just figured Stephen Thompson, even though, yes, this was an Apex cage, did we take that into account? Not as much, just because I figured, all right, man, everyone has to adjust, right? We can't use this as an excuse anymore. People have been fighting in it for a whole year plus now, so just get used to it, right? But it really mattered because he was able to just cut off that cage all day long, man, stay on him. And what was more impressive to me is that Bilal Muhammad still had the cardio to cut a massive promo after the fight, after just wrestling for 3 straight rounds, and then says, nobody in the welterweight division wants it. I want Usman. I want Leon Edwards. You know what I mean? He says, all he does is he fight 155ers and he poked me in the eye. I need that one back. Unfinished business. Dude, he cuts a promo, and I love it because, he does remember the show, so he does a lot of public speaking himself. And, he does the ESPN stuff too, man, so he doesn't, curse on air. He was like, what the fudge is that? All that. It was just so fluent. So I have listen, I'm a Bilal Muhammad fan, man. I got to remember the name or the Climbing the Rankings t-shirt. I got his merch, man. I'm a big fan of Muhammad, but I had to pick against him because this Wonderboy Thompson we're talking about, brother. This ain't just Joe Blow off the street. So I eat my words. I was wrong. Bilal Muhammad, man, this is in with the new, out with the old. But this was one of those, AJ, I just want your last take before we move on. Do you kind of feel like it hurts a little bit when you see the legends of the sport just start getting beat up on, and you're like, damn, this was that guy, Tyron Woodley knocked out by Jake Paul, Stephen Thompson, he's getting, smashed by Gilbert Burns, then Bilal Muhammad, Rafael Assunção gets knocked out by Ricky Simone. You're like, damn, these were the dudes who were the killers, and now they're not. And that's just the sport, and it sucks because this is a cruel, tough sport. But do you agree with me? It just hurts a little bit. Maybe that's probably why we gave Thompson so much love.
I think so, Derek. I agree with you. It hurts, man. It hurts because these are the dudes you look up to where you're like, man, these guys are, the killers of the world. There's nobody that can beat these guys. They've been doing it for so long. Yeah, it's but Father Time is undefeated. New dudes,
Yeah.
there's always going to be somebody younger, stronger, faster, and better than you, no matter what happens. Always that age comes into play. A real quick side note, though, I'm glad Bilal Muhammad used that little bit of racism he was
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
for a little bit of gumption, a little bit of push forward. He's when he said it too. He's like, I don't even know how that dude got in here, man. Thank you for making me whoop this dude's ass. The craziest thing when they were shouting USA, but Bilal Muhammad's born in Chicago, turning that little bit of racism he felt, or that was coming towards him, that was coming at him. Not just he felt it, that was blatantly there. Use that as a little bit of motivation. I love that, man. He didn't play the victim card at all. He said, yeah, cool, yeah, fuck that guy, or fudge that guy, I guess is a better way, go with Bilal Muhammad style. But I don't even know how he got in here. It made me very happy to hear that, man. It was great.
No, but absolutely, man. And that is actually something I'm glad that you just reminded me of that, because that is something that is far too prevalent, folks. This anti-Arabic hate, this anti-Middle Eastern hate, this anti-Black hate, anti-Mexican, anti-Asian, anti-white, anti-whatever. Stop hating on people for these reasons. As the fight game, this is as global as it gets. This is an international sport. And to be rooting for Stephen Thompson, a good old American-made man, and not Bilal Muhammad, who is from Chicago, like you said, that is a ridiculous thing. That is, what is the word? That is bigotry right there. You know what I mean? That is being a fool. You're being a damn fool if you're being racist over here. If you're judging a man not off of his fight characteristics, off of his fight style, how good of an athlete he is, based solely on where he's from. That is ridiculous. I'm glad Bilal Muhammad used his platform to talk about it. And I'm glad even more that he says, hey, if I see you out there, I'm going to punch you. He just said it fair and square, just straight up. Like, listen, if I see you, bro, like, I'm going to put hands on you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're being a little fuck. And I'll tell you what, man, I was just at that grappling tournament at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 1 at the Apex. Bro, you're right there. The fighters are right there. So when you're in the, like, to be talking shit, like, they can hear you. You're literally right in front of them. So that's a crazy thing to me, because you're talking to a trained professional fighter, talking shit about him in a way that will get your ass whooped in the street, and you're talking to a pro fighter like that. Get the fuck out of here, man. So I'm glad that you pointed that out, because that is ridiculous. And you saw how cordial Stephen Thompson and Bilal Muhammad were after the fight, how respectful they were, talking about, oh, I love you, bro, all that good stuff, great fight, you know, yada, yada, yada. Listen, all that stuff does not belong in the game. Shout out to Bilal Muhammad. Remember the name. Don't forget. I will definitely remember the name. I'm gonna stop disrespecting my man. Shout out to Bilal Muhammad.